How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Tressa's Collectibles channel. I'm Randall, aka Shizukatz.
And I'm Mike, aka Mike.
And today we're going to be doing our second of two games for the Macross Delta gameplay block. Just a couple games for this block. I'm going to be playing... Well, actually, you're going to be playing a similar deck to the one that you played in the last one.
Yes.
So let's go with yours first.
You know what would be funny if you just copy-pasted my first intro and just clipped it over? But basically, this is the title, basically the most prominent deck of Macross Delta and like the set's gimmick deck. It is the Freyja Link deck, Super Dimension Link, where all of these climaxes with the continuous effect of the Super Dimension Link, as long as we have 2 copies of the event in our memory, they all count as each other's names as long as you have that copy in the waiting room. So what that practically means is, for example, if we want to use Kaname's Climax combo with Axia, if we have a copy of Axia in the waiting room, we have any other copy of any linked climax, then this card's name is also treated as this card's name, and you can really proliferate into a lot of advantage by playing multiple and combining multiple different climax combos. 1-0 Kaname can summon the 2-0 Mikumo, 2-0 Mikumo combos with Forbidden Borderline that allows us to potentially plus up to 4 here. The difference between this particular deck and our last deck is the top end, where we are going in on a 4-copy line of the Hayate Freyja finisher instead of the Freyja Mocha 3 finisher. Now this finisher doesn't have an on-play effect, but it does have a lot of flexibility in what it activates on Climax combo. We can either burn 2, draw 1, heal 1, or shuffle up to everything from our opponent's waiting room except 2 climaxes, and then they get 5,000 power. Now what makes this combo really good is if we start with the effect of this particular 1-1 Hayate support, which we can, at the start of Climax phase, pay 1, discard 2, and if we do, essentially we get to use 2 of the 3 Climax combo effects. So we can shuffle cards back and then burn 2, or we can draw 1, heal 1, burn 2, whatever we want to do. That helps us do that. So it's the most offensive finisher in Macross Delta, and it is going to be what we're trying today. The deck is a bit more resource heavy with the inclusion of the 1-1 specific back row. We no longer get to run things like the 2-1 stock charger that we were playing in the previous build, but hopefully we can still balance things out. And just to have a regular healer, since this doesn't have an on-play effect, we are also playing this level 3 Mikumo that combos with Love Halation. On play, discard a card, heal to stock, and Climax combo. On attack, give a character once per turn. When damage dealt by this character is cancelled, deal the same amount of damage. So we can stack that on the Hayate Freyja, and perhaps do another burn 2 if they cancel the 2, otherwise we can re-swing again. And that's basically the goal of this deck. What are we playing over there, Randall?
Okay, so we are actually going to be playing for our level 1 combo. We are going to play the one card that you are not running a Climax combo for in your deck, which is that one right there, Fukaku Cosmic Movement, which goes with the level 1 Freyja. So this card is actually the exact same card as the Demiurge from Overlord or Nazarick Volume 2.
And Kai from Guilty Gear.
Well, no, like it's exactly Demiurge. Power condition, field condition, so it is the exact same card. But in terms of the combo itself, it's the same as Kai from Guilty Gear. On attack, I can either look it up to top 4 and add a character, or I can salvage a level 2 or higher character from my waiting room. And so given the flexibility between these 2 modes, it gives you a lot of room to play around with your deck state, which is something that I really, really like to do. Just focus on like maintaining climaxes in deck where I can, and take advantage of my deck state in order to cancel well. However, we are running 2 level 1 combos because we are also running the Mikumo. Unlike in your deck where you're going to be wanting to mainly summon it off of the Kaname combo, the Mikumo does have the early play condition of 2 or less climaxes in my waiting room or 5 or less deck. I do have the ability to utilize either of these level 1 combos throughout the early to mid game, and potentially just like swap between the 2 to constantly gain more advantage as the turns go. And then we are also running Ikanai Borderline as a double combo with the 3-2 Freyja, which we saw in the previous game, and it's Mocha 3. So there's not really too much to say. The endgame for this deck is not super explosive with just the Mocha 3 alone. So for our brainstorms, alongside the Top Chick 3 brainstorm, which is going to allow us to get climaxes or potentially events as well pretty easily, or mill through our deck, we're also running the Tap Self Salvage Brainstorm that can also double as a burn brainstorm in the late game that could potentially allow us to bolster our finishing potential.
Yep. So your build is just a traditional Weiss deck. We're going to play some of the highest quality cards that Macross Delta has to offer.
Exactly.
Compared to my deck, where I am a pure combo deck. I have a lot of kind of sub-optimal cards, but once we get that setup going, we are going to be on an unstoppable train of advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this deck does kind of operate in the same way, where it's like I want to keep getting Climax in order to keep comboing, just because the Climax combos will allow me to like grab the opposite combo pretty easily, and so that will allow me to like keep up the pressure pretty well. And then I'm also still just running, as you said, the really high quality cards that Macross Delta has to offer, such as level 0 Mikumo. Unlike the last game where level 0 Mikumo getting side attacked is a little bit clunky with like the Kaname combo that both you and Simo were running in the previous game. In this deck, it's literally just like, oh wow, I kept my Mikumo, oh no.
Yeah, so it's like it's a +1 either way, but in your build, yours like, meh.
It's there, I have it still.
I'll keep attacking with it until it's answered.
Yeah.
Alright, so looking forward to this game. And we're gonna see if we can get that double link setup going once again. Worked out pretty well last game. See if we can replicate its success. Right. Oh, wait a second.
Okay, so I'm going first. Alright.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, I'm going to be discarding just 2. I'll discard a level 3 Freyja and the level 2 Reyna level assist that you are no longer running in your build.
Yep. Okay, I'll pitch 3 on my end.
Okay, pitching a Climax. Like, well, I guess that means you have a Climax already in your hand.
Alright, go ahead.
Considering that you discarded Axia, that makes me think that you have the other copy of Axia in your hand as the other Climax. That's gonna be my assumption moving forward. Alright, so let's go ahead. Draw for turn, and I'm going to start by clocking this early play heal and drawing 2. And as for our turn 1 play, let's see. I'm going to start with a Freyja and Mirage 3/5 drop search, with the idea here being that if he wants to address it, he has to use a 3/5 of his own, either the Mikumo level 0 or the Freyja Chaser, and if he wants to crash into it, then that means that he would have to lose a card that could potentially gain him advantage on the follow-up turn. At least that's the assumption here. So we'll go ahead and use this to our attack on our first turn for 2.
Okay, 1 cancel. Draw for turn. Clock our 3/2, draw 2. Okay. Right, first things first, we're going to play a copy of our level 0 Machina. It's a card that was in our last deck, but we actually never played it, so this is just a generic on play. We can pitch a character, or pitch a card, and then reveal the top, and then salvage a level extra lower. Here we're going to salvage our level 0 Walker group. This allows us to give some power on attack so that we can deal with that 3/5. Next, I'm going to play a copy of our Freyja Chaser. Like Randall surmised correctly, I would be forced to tie with it had I not had a power boost source. But unfortunately we do here, so we're just going to roll with our punches. And I do have a copy of the event here, but I don't think there's anything that I really care about doing there, so yeah, I think we're fine. Yeah, we should be fine. Okay, let's go into attack. Direct attack, I'll give 1500 here on attack and swing for 2.
Cancel.
Okay, and then front attack for 1.
Take the 1.
Here you go.
Okay, draw for turn. We're going to clock a level 3 Freyja. Draw 2. And I'm going to be playing a Riki. So level 0 Mikumo on play, pay 1, and then clock a music or pilot from my waiting room. We will go ahead and I'll clock this. And then we're going to search our deck for a level 1 or lower character. I'm going to grab the level 0 Mikumo. So this card is 1500 base power, but if, well, first of all, she can't side attack, but if all my characters are music or pilot trait, she gets plus 2000 power. And then at the start of my opponent's attack phase, I can mill 1. If it is a level 2 or lower character, she can bounce back to hand upon being front attacked.
Okay.
And then we're going to play this here, and then we're going to play the homies of our own. And so the idea here is I'm going to crash here, and then we're going to give 1500 buff to whichever one the Freyja runs in front of, so that we can run it over.
Yeah, because the one in the middle has 1000 during your turn.
Yeah, so if I buff here, it'll be 4k, and then if I buff here, it'll be 5k to your 3/5.
Yeah.
And with that, I will go to attacks.
Okay, there's nothing I can do.
Okay, so we will crash here, giving power here. This is going to be for 1. Front attack with the Mikumo for 1.
Yep.
And then direct attack with this one for 2.
Cancel. Okay.
Over to you.
Stand and draw. Alright, let's clock a copy of our own Riki. Draw 2. So what are our considerations for this turn? Well, I could try to contest the Mikumo. I'm just going to assume that it probably will live. Right now, I'm more concerned about just getting my setup going. And what does the setup consist of? It consists of getting 2 events, as well as my brainstorm. In order to do that, we are going to start with our own Mikumo, and on play, we'll clock this optimal red level target, and search. We'll get a brainstorm for ourselves. Next, I'm going to activate the Mikumo's, the Reina's effect of I can pay 1, tap herself to mill down to 5. And there is definitely more than 4 here. So what her effect does is once I mill down to 5, if I have 3 or less different climaxes in my waiting room, then she actually sends herself to clock. But if I have 4 or more different climaxes in my waiting room, then at the start of my encore step, I can refresh. So I take all my waiting room and put it into my deck.
Can I check which 5 actually?
Yeah. So the reason I'm doing this is because I was already out 3, and I had a pretty fat deck. Next turn, I do expect him to play a 1k1. And since I'm stuck at level 0 with nothing much else to do, I'm going to take the opportunity to just go into a better deck compression state to hopefully cancel next turn.
So that was 7 out. And the missing one is an Axia. So I'm just assuming that that is the one that you had in your hand when you discarded the other copy.
Let's see.
So now it's time for some event bonder.
Yes. Now, I'm going to play my level 0 Freyja and Mikumo. Has 2 on-play effects. I can either pay 1, discard a music, top check up to 3, add 1, or I can look at up to 3 and add an event, or if I can discard a card to salvage the event. So that's what I will do. Since I do have the events here already, I'll pitch one of my level 3 combos, grab back a walk here event.
Yep.
Pitch this up to front row, and I think that's it. We'll just attack 3 times and call it a day.
Okay, considering that you are not threatening my Mikumo, I'm going to choose not to mill.
Sounds good. Front attack. 2/5 to your 1/5. This is for 1.
Cancel.
Direct attack for 2.
1, 2. Cancel again.
Now we are staying here the long term. Okay, full side here. 2.
1, 2. Cancel again.
Okay, wow.
Huh.
Okay, so at the start of encore step, I do refresh.
Yep.
Going back 7 showing.
Interesting.
Definitely very interesting. There you go.
Okay, draw for
over
turn.
to you.
We will. I'm gonna clock a 2/0 event. Draw 2. let's see if we can pick up some other cool stuff that we can use moving forward. Yeah, honestly, I think this is fine. I'm going to play a Scarlet Noble Freyja, on play, pay 1, discard 1 to salvage. And is this the card I want to be discarding, or this? Discarding one of these for sure. I think probably this. So we'll discard a Kaname, and I'm going to just get back another Mikumo.
We're at level 0, let's get some advantage and beaters going.
And give 1k here. We'll just play our other Mikumo. And yeah, there's not really much else I need to do.
Yep.
I am out a lot of climaxes, but I just don't have the means to get out of here right now, so I'm just gonna
leave bother.
Yeah, there's literally nothing I can really do here, so I'm just gonna chill. I can hope that I cancel with the remaining climaxes in my deck and still refresh well without taking a ton of damage. But for now, this is what we're going to stick with.
Yeah.
So let's go into attacks. I'm gonna start with a front attack here for 1. Front attack here for 1.
Level. I don't think it matters, but let's level our Riki.
And front attack here for 1.
1's good.
Okay, go ahead.
Stand, draw.
So I think one big thing that I'm going to be focusing on throughout this game, especially given how much stock I have right now from this early point, is just amassing a ton of stock, because Macross does have access to Fumio effects, but doesn't have access to stock swap.
Yeah, especially given the opportunity with this extended, prolonged level 0 game, that you can really try to capitalize on that for sure. It's something that I will not be able to do because my deck is very stock hungry. So let's see what we're doing here. Okay. I'm going to clock a copy of our 2/0 Mikumo to draw 2. Let me have a bit of a think here.
Funking? Okay. Can I check the contents of your waiting room? I wanna see if I can put myself in your shoes. There's obviously no climaxes. And the selection of targets that, if you were to do Kaname combo this turn, are not great.
So, what's going through my mind right now is, how much should I commit to progressing my game plan in terms of stock usage? I know I have a fly walk here on the second stock of my triggers. But I don't necessarily care about using 2 stock right now. I technically could. It wouldn't be the worst.
Because there were 3 when you checked the waiting room before the free fresh. You picked up one of them and then you triggered one.
Yeah. I guess I technically could brainstorm. Would not be the worst.
So the question then becomes,
doesn't really feel like a brainstorm accomplishes much. Well, basically, the overarching strategy that I have here is I don't want to use stock needlessly. Because, for example, right here, if I remember correctly at least, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe the event is on the second trigger, so I could force myself to pay to get it out and then just grab it. At the same time, I could also just wait until I do my next mill down to 5 with the Reyna, and then just get it then. Because it'll be very likely that I'll have a copy of the event once I have a huge waiting room, and I can save this stock. So the dilemma here is if I do want to pay the stock now or later. And I'm going to say that it's probably not going to be super useful right now.
Well, I think my question is, like, if you were going to go for pay to stock, I'm trying to think of what your other stock is.
So, like, it would be a copy of the event.
Which you can't play because you don't have red?
Oh, I got Riki in the copy of that, yeah. Sorry.
Wait, then that would... Oh, okay, so then you wouldn't be brainstorming.
Yeah.
That would spend, sorry. That would spend 3 stock.
Sorry. Yeah. I was thinking of the brainstorming like a different line. But just kind of thinking about ways to pay out stock. Either way, though, the Riki is not super useful in my current situation, I think. At the same time, if I just go for just 3 attackers, it's not going to be a great next turn, I think, unless I just find some better things. I actually think I'm going to start with the Brainstorm and see what happens. I think I prefer the Brainstorm line a bit more here. So I'll Brainstorm. Hit 1. And I do mill a Kaname, which does open up my options considerably.
So now you could potentially do Kaname into some random attacker.
Yeah. And like...
Which is better than nothing.
This would be fine, right?
Yeah.
You know? So here I'm salvaging for my next card. Which like even this would be fine. But I think I want something a bit more proactive in my hand. So if it seems like I'm going really slow right now, it's because I think this is the part of the game that's going to matter the most in terms of how it affects the rest of the game. I have to perform these particular turns in the early game really well for the rest of the deck to come together. So I'm trying to go through all my options and not misplay. And I think like if it's you guys at home that are doing these kind of lines, I think it'll just come down to repetition and practice. As you play the deck more and you just understand all your lines, you'll be able to make a lot of these decisions really quickly. For someone like myself that is very green with the deck, I do want to try to see if there are any lines that I am missing here. I don't think there are, honestly, so I'll probably just go with something on the safer side, so... Do we have a 1/1 in here? We do not, so...
I mean, this seems like a pretty reasonable card because you backline it, and then if you do Kaname summons this turn, you can use that to save the Kaname for the next turn, so you don't have to try to get it back.
I think it probably opens up my options a bit.
You're shuffling your waiting room, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll salvage this. I'll play Kaname. And I think for the sake of paying out... Oh wait, no. Nah, I shouldn't. I shouldn't Riki. Okay, we'll just do this then.
Okay.
Lane-wise, Kaname, Mikumo. Okay. So we'll play Axia, which is actually the Climax
Actually
combo.
the correct Climax, yep.
And I'll go into attack.
Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. Mill 1. This is a miss, so this one is reversible.
Yep.
And then I'll do this one. And this one is a hit, so this one can bounce back.
Okay. Let's go ahead and front attack. Climax combo. I'll summon the copy of Kaname over here. Trigger for 2.
1, 2. Level up. And among these... Given what is in my hand currently, I think probably we're leveling red. So I'll level this 1/0 Kaname, and go ahead.
Okay, I'll side attack. Yep, Climax combo. Here, since he'll get a +1 either way, I would prefer to side, just so he has less options. Though in this particular situation, he's very happy with that beater anyways, but just to give him a bit of less options. And we're going to summon a copy of Miku ourselves, because that can potentially plus us as well. Trigger! 4/3.
1, 2, 3. Take 3.
Okay. And front attack. 3.
1, 2, cancel.
There you go. 2 waiter.
Okay. Draw for turn. Check my waiting room real quick. All right, I'm gonna clock the anti-change backup. That's really not a card that I need to really use in this matchup. The only time that it would be potentially useful is if you standby'd out something.
Or it's like if you got shot straight to 2 and I was still a level 1 and I did Mikumo combo.
Sure, but
in general, yeah.
We're not gonna really worry about that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the plan here, let's see. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 here. And that's never doing that. Okay, so I'm going to play this turn assuming that your Mikumo will just hit. And I'm not going to try to play something that contests it in terms of power.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're going to do is I'm going to play a level 0 Machina, and I'm going to discard a choice, reveal the top card, salvage a 0. And off of this, let's grab ourselves, let's see. We probably are still playing that. I'm gonna grab myself a drop salvage.
Okay.
I can play that next turn if I need to get a brainstorm, so that's not a problem. And then I can also do that. So we'll grab the drop salvage.
Can I see your winning?
Yes.
To check out what's going on. Let's see. 3 of each. Yes. Let's see. Where is all his stuff? 1 Climax combo. 1, 2, 3, both counters. Okay.
Alright, so we're going to backline our Machina, and then the card that we're going to play as our attacker is Yami Kaname. On play, she has the effect on play mill 2. If we milled a Climax, then we would get to choose up to one of our opponent's front row level 2 or lower characters and send it to memory. The idea behind this is to mill down to 4 cards, unlocking the early play condition for our Mikumo.
Mm-hmm.
So now she can come down and she can use her Climax combo at the end of this deck rotation to grab us whatever we need.
Yeah.
Okay. With this board, we are contesting the 2 lanes that matter, and we're going to play our 1k1.
Sounds good.
Okay. Let's go ahead and would you like to mill?
I will not mill. There's really no reason to mill here, so
okay.
We're chilling.
Let's start with the front attack with the Mikumo. She gains plus 6,000 power during my turn, so she is a really big 9/5.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be for 2.
Okay, cancel.
Okay, and now that that's canceled, we will side attack with our Yami Kaname, which has 2 base souls. So this is siding
hey,
for
look
3.
at that.
3.
1, 2, 3. 3's good.
And then finally, we will front attack with our Mikumo for 2.
1, cancel.
And then at the start of the Encore step, since the character across is reversed or empty, we will sack Ikenai Borderline for the Climax combo and salvage 2. We're going to grab 2 copies of the Witch Freyja to utilize on our next turn for her Climax combo.
Yeah, we can very safely assume that he has the door for next turn. Okay. Good.
Yep.
Draw for turn. Oh, actually, hold on.
Sack to save?
Yeah, I'm going to sack to save.
Yep.
Because I want the board slots, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, draw for turn. Question here is, do we want to clock? And I think the answer is yes. Is it? Yeah, it has to be. Okay. Clock for turn.
Mm-hmm.
Draw 2.
Okay, is it time to begin playing the game, or?
I do believe so. Given that I already have 4 or more different event Climax names in waiting room, I am 100% safe on the Reyna mill.
Okay.
So, let's start with that. Reyna activates her effect. Let me actually, hold on. Let me think on my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to mess things up. Let me just think things through. Should be good, right? Yeah, okay. We're gonna go into Reyna. Pay 1, rest herself. Activate her mill down to 5 effect. We do have 4, we just checked. And then... Wait, there was nothing there. Interesting.
No climaxes?
Nope.
Okay, can I check?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Alive.
Do I have a standby in there?
Axia.
Can you check for me?
No standby.
Okay.
There's the 2 doors, and then Alive and Axia.
Okay. Got it.
And then there's 1 event here if you need it.
And I do need it. Alright, everything is in place now. These were the 3 cards that I needed in my weight room alongside some names. So we're going to proceed into the next step. We're going to play over our level 0 because we do need the empty slots in the back row, in the front row. And, or actually, does that even... Isn't this just better than Kaname? Is having the Mikumo better than Kaname?
Well, you can't double summon if you do that.
But this is already a plus, right?
How are you getting the second event?
So I'll play that here.
And
then I'll combo.
then
I play the 2 events. Wait, what do you mean?
So instead of doing
instead of doing Kaname, like this, it's either this or this on the defense,
okay,
right?
yeah.
So this is just better now.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Right? Would you agree that this probably just makes more sense than this? I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we will actually not play over it because this can potentially give me a plus next turn. We will still need to play this. On play. Pitch. Anything, right?
Yeah.
For
Pitch anything. Fund,
anything.
ditch anything.
Pitch this to salvage the event. We'll play both events. Pay 1 stock, they just go to memory. But now that we have both events in our memory, all of our climaxes are now linked. Nothing else we need to do here, so let's just go into our climax. Forbidden Borderline. Actually, let's check board positions. Everything's just tiny, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 1K1.
Well, okay. Scooby-Doo. If you're gonna summon a Mikumo here, if I hit this mill, you will have to front this if you want to use the effect.
This is very true.
So you should put the Mikumo literally anywhere else.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Making sense.
Okay. Start attack. Mill this.
Yeah.
And I'm refreshing with 7 missing a door. I wonder where it is.
Yep. Cards in hand? 7?
6.
Okay.
Might be 7.
No. No. It could even be 8.
It could even be 8. Refresh point. Okay.
Alright. Well, let's start with the first one.
Yep.
Climax combo. Now that all my climaxes are linked, even though I have the wrong climax on stage, I have the right climax in the weight room. So climax combo with Axia. I'll summon a copy of the 2/0 Mikumo.
Yep.
And trigger for 2.
1, 2. Oh! Our favorite! Bounce back.
Have we ever talked about how much we love bounce back effects on this channel? I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Front attack. For 2.
Take 2. Level yellow here. I'll level the event.
Okay. And we'll side. Standby.
Whoa.
Wow. Very nice.
Get the free 1/1.
Free 1/1.
For 3?
For 3.
Ow.
Okay. Start of Encore Step. Climax combo with Ikenai Borderline. I'll discard the Climax. Salvage 2. And with those salvages, I'm going to, I believe, I'll show my preliminary salvages and let you guys know my thoughts. So I'm thinking of these 2. Just because I feel like I need to start prepping for my level 3 game over the course of multiple turns. My hand right now doesn't have any of the Climax combos. And also, the 2/1 allows me to be very flexible on my actions next turn. Just kind of seeing what the damage situation is like.
So the climaxes are going to be going back are Cosmic Movement, Palatian, Ikenai, Alive, Axia, and you triggered standby. So there's 2 unaccounted for, which are 1 Ikanai, 1 Axia.
The ones that are Tuzos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to think about it a bit more. Look through my waiting to see if anything else might come up to mind.
Oh, wait, actually, hold on. We're going to pretend this is like this, because this can't side.
Oh, my... Yeah, you're right. I mean, you know what? I'll own up to it. You can just have it.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
The prophecy came true.
I hate
8 cards in hand.
Wow, I have 8 cards in hand. Wow, that's crazy.
Okay. I will salvage these 2.
Okay.
And then going back, 5 showing?
5 showing, yeah.
Yep.
Alright, draw for turn. Okay. I don't think clocking here is in the cards. Because,
you have plenty.
I have a lot of hand.
Yeah.
I think the plan is to play this event to grab my Brainstorm, and then play these. So let's go ahead and play this event. So this is the same as the Shana event from Dengeki Bunko, where I can either search my deck for a character and add to hand, or I can choose one of my characters, give it 3k, and then send the event to stock. I'm going to choose to search. And I'm going to grab my Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Shuffle up. Okay, we'll go ahead and just park this here. And then we're going to play 2 copies of our Freyja. This is either on attack, top check 4, add 1, or on attack, salvage a 2 or higher. And then to complete our board, we do have 4 or more early play Machina. So this is an on-play heal. And then also on the when she's played, if I have another character until the end of the opponent's next turn, she gets plus 2k power.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's see. Is there anything else we need to do?
You know what I definitely could have considered last turn was siding your 1-0. Couldn't I?
Side the... You could have.
Yeah. Because you probably just would have needed to play over it if you wanted to kill all my characters anyways. And that would have just been worse compared to you having that in hand still. Yeah, I probably should have sided that.
Well, if you side it, I don't have it in hand, and then I just put it here.
Yeah. Lesson learned. Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so you know what? I have a lot of Climaxes in the deck, so I don't want to mill. But also the selection is pretty poor in here. So
because they can only salvage 2s and higher, right?
Yeah. So
do we have anything in there?
So we have counter to 1 support Mikumo. So in order to try to make the quality better, I'm going to go for a Burn Brainstorm.
Sounds good. So I like it.
Pay 1, rest 2. And we burn 1.
Okay.
And we have a 3/2 in here now that we can salvage.
Level, but the only red here is this 3/2, which is not great. But I don't think I'll need red. Hopefully. Yeah, I want to keep that open as an option, so I'm going to level another Riki.
Okay. So this is pretty much what we're going to be getting.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and play our 1k1. We're going to start with the Machina. I want to keep the options open on the Freyja just in case I do actually need to mill. So this is going to be a front attack for 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 3's good.
Okay. Oh, wait. Actually, hold on. Did you want to...
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Did you want to...
I want to potentially mill, even without seeing the damage potential, I want to mill just to see if I can plus it.
Yeah.
Alright,
okay, so this is 3.
Yeah.
So
1, 2, 3. Yep.
Okay. So now we front here. I'm going to choose to salvage the Freyja. And this is going to be for choice. With this, I'm going to stock a 2/0 Mikumo.
Sounds good.
And then with this one, I'm going to salvage the minus soul counter. And then trigger. Choice. And with this one, I'm going to add the 2/1 to my hand. 2/1 support.
I really need to cancel this one. And we do. Thank goodness. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Stand and draw. One out, huh? But realistically, it's more like 2 there.
And then what was the one you canceled with? A red one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the like even just like canceling is important, but it's also which climaxes you cancel with, because that potentially gives you lines that don't involve requiring you to mill down. So there's a lot of luck there.
Yeah, just a lot of variables that you always have to keep in mind. Some of which are in your control, a lot of which is not in your control. How many are in your waiting room?
4. So there's 2 choice there, and then there's 1 choice here, 3 doors here.
Okay, I definitely need to push a 1k1 this turn then. I mean, like, the deck wants to play 1k1 every turn anyways, but this turn, for sure, I think it's where we can potentially get a good catch-up. My concern is that I might whiff on 3 or less. I'm a bit worried about that. However, I do have 2 guaranteed unique names here already, so it would only whiff if I am really unlucky. But it could happen. What's my way around? Okay. I think the game is probably going to come down to the wire, and I will need more hand going forward, and I'm going to clock this. Because right now, I only have a 5 hand, and I just want more cards. The top end is a bit resource intensive here. Alright. Nothing to do but pray. Pay 1. Mill down to 5.
Yep.
We need 2 names. And we have 2 names. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's
so we have
all three red and then 2 yellow.
And then you can have borderline Axia.
Okay.
We'll play our 1/0 Kaname. Over here. Those are 6?
No, it's 2k on my turn.
Oh, okay.
So they are just 4k.
Okay. Right. Yeah, positioning is good here, I think. That's 10-5, right?
Yep.
I guess technically... Oh, you salvage a counter. I can't. Yeah, I
I
was thinking that, like, technically my 2-0 could also reach 10-5, but then, like, he has a counter, so there's no point. I do need the reverse here. All right, we'll play Axia.
Yep.
And go into attack.
Yeah.
First, we'll front and Climax combo with Axia. I'll summon a copy of 2-0 Mikumo. Trigger. Choice. I'll choice a 2-0.
Okay.
And then...
we pay 1, draw 1?
I'm thinking of the stock threshold.
You pay here and you don't trigger another choice, you go up to 7 stock.
Which is actually exactly enough, right? For my finisher turn. Yeah. Yeah, I'll pay 1. So I'll activate the effect of 1/1 Hayate. Whenever I trigger a choice, I can pay 1, draw 1.
Okay.
So that's 2.
Cancel.
Okay. Front attack. This is 4/5 for 3.
Okay, let's see. Do I want to counter that to... how many cards now?
5.
How important is it for you to not keep that? Or how... so this is 3. What am I spending stock on if I don't spend it now? Because I need to spend stock to pay out those 2 climaxes. One of them will probably be this 2/1 Reina that I salvage, but what is the other one? Drop salvage, perhaps? I just canceled with 3/2 in my waiting room, so I could play the drop salvage, get that. I do want to open the lane. Just try to deal damage. Just to force you into blowing all your resources potentially next turn. If I deal a lot of damage to you.
One of the weaknesses of my Hayate Freyja finisher is doesn't actually do anything on play, so...
I'm going to use the counter here.
Okay.
So I'm just going to... I'm not going to use the minus soul. I'm just going to use the counter to go up to 6/5. So you're crashing in, and this is for 3.
This is for 3, yes.
1, 2, 3. Take the 3.
Okay. And front attack, this is 8/5 for... or sorry, 9/5 for 2.
1, 2. What?
Wow, nice. Very nice. Okay. Start of Encore. I'll activate Ikinai Borderline, which is in my waiting room. sack the Climax, salvage 2. I'm going to salvage 2 copies of my finisher. And then activate the effect of Reyna, Brainstorm, and Refresh.
So how many were... and which ones?
Missing 7, or back 7.
Missing 1 Ikanai, right? Or no, you triggered it.
Missing 1, 2, 3. Missing the level 3 combo.
Oh, okay.
The yellow choice.
Yeah.
Level 3 combo.
Okay. So this is dead.
And since this does happen at the beginning of Encore Step, my level 0 Miku mode, which did get reversed, does not get set to wait room until afterwards, which is a nice bonus for me. Alright, here we go.
Right.
7.
This is dead too.
Oh, yeah. 7
drop. Let's see. What is that card? That card's here. I can't do that and also draw it. So we would have to do that, I guess. To be completely honest, this seems like a pretty opportune time to try to kill you.
I would agree. I think the big turning point here was you hitting level 3 on that turn.
And I think that if I'm going to try to kill you, I think it always starts with clocking this.
Okay.
Drawing 2.
Can you see your rating going back, please?
Yep.
Just check out what he has resource-wise. Both counters are out. 2 finishers here. Okay.
Yeah, so the thing is that I wanted to think about how I could pay that choice out and also refresh, but then I realized that keeping the choice there also means that it's guaranteed to be able to climax swap into it.
You're back, what, 6?
I'm back 6, missing 1 of each. And this is only really detrimental if I...
Refresh Climax? Or...
If I refresh the Climax Swapper. Because I need to fetch it. Okay, refresh. Okay. So, let's see. I am going to use this Ricky to get it. Oh, I know I can't. I have to play something else first. So, we will...
no way to target.
Yeah.
We can just play over one of your guys, right? With Ricky?
I wanna tap them all for this.
Oh, okay.
So...
Wait, couldn't you just do that? Oh, you don't want to risk the Climax Swapper leaving the deck.
Yeah, so we're going to pay 2 and heal. I think I do need to... Let's see. If the plan is to play these as my attackers... Oh, no, I see a line I should have gone for, so... Slight misplay. I think it should be okay, though. I'm going to do a burn brainstorm by resting these 2, I think. Let's see. If I do burn brainstorm, Ricky, Climax, swap that. Yeah, okay. No, I think it's okay. Yeah, we'll rest these 2.
Okay.
Pay 1. Burn 1.
Burn 1. Level? Get in there. Okay.
Okay, and then we do that. So, yeah, so I'll play over this. So what I should have started with was this. So we'll use Reyna's effect to send this to stock now. Play Ricky. unclock this card. Search for a 1 or lower Climax Swapper.
Did you have an alternate line if you milled the Climax Swapper?
I have the drop salvage still.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, so now we pull... So now we rest these two for this, for a Burn Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really not good.
That's really good.
That's really not good. Okay. So we play over this, we play the Climax swap. Pay 1. Discard Climax. Salvage Climax. And then we play our second finisher.
What a line. What a turn.
Heal 1. Okay, now we move these here. And let's see, if I attack, I end with 1 stock. Unless I choose not to combo on one of them. I think in order to give myself an option, if you don't combo, or if I don't combo with both, just because I don't deal enough damage, we're going to put Mikumo 2-0 here to salvage 2.
Ah, because they do combo with the same Climax combo.
Yep. And then we'll play our Climax. So we'll start with the direct here for 3. Salvage. We'll get the sack counter.
Okay.
This is for 3.
1, 2, cancel.
Okay. We direct here, pay 1. I'm going to discard the drop salvage to Mocha 3.
He looks at my top 3 cards, chooses up to any of them, and mills them away. Put the rest back on top.
And this is for 4.
Alright, so the 3rd and 4th card could still be Climaxes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm in trouble.
Okay.
So what I need here is for him to see Climaxes and mill them so I have more Climaxes.
Front.
Yep.
Pay 1. Discard this. Look at 1. Look at 2. Look at... Oh my god.
I still believe. Trigger?
For 3, 4.
Nice. I believe I have a good amount in here still. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh. Resident Sleeper. Climaxes on bottom. The Macross Delta special.
Unfortunate. It is what it is. I think I gave myself the best off there.
I mean... Yeah. Like, this is... In Macross Delta, sometimes they're on the bottom when you do your mill down, and sometimes they're on the bottom.
Well, I mean,
when
like,
you...
it's not even a Macross Delta thing. That was just I was literally 7 and 20 thing.
Oh, yeah.
It can't be helped, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the only Climax I kept with the level 3 finisher. Like, I felt like that was pretty reasonable. I even paid out my choice the previous turn with the 1-1, so... There's nothing I can do here. Yeah, but...
Yeah. I definitely think that... the counter being able to just give me the extra bodies needed to like do this is definitely really underestimated part about like having stuff live. Like, I think one of the big reasons that I wanted to go for specifically the early play heal is because I knew that it would allow me to maintain bodies on the board, assuming you didn't hit me to level 3. Which I wasn't counting on being hit to level 3 in that turn. And so the idea is that if I can maintain this on the board, then I can potentially have bodies to use for this later, which is what I did. Yeah. And as we saw here...
I think along the same things, though, I was actually, like, pretty happy with the outcome, because while you did have extra bodies for the Burn Brainstorm, your finisher is also a Mocha 3. And
so it's a direct.
I would love directs, because I only die if I take the directs. I don't really care if I take the burns, but I lose if I take those directs and fronts, right? So for me, I was like, okay, well, he gets the extra bodies for the burn. but my win condition is still the same, except now I have a higher chance to cancel because of the directs. I took the 4s, but it is what it is, right?
And it's also an exchange because you open yourself for 4s to make it easier for you to cancel, but then like also potentially there could have been like a lot more damage from this card.
Right.
Because like I went back 6, and then I still have. There's still like 4 in here or something. Yeah, there's still 4 in here. You would Fumio this all back, so it's like when I whiff on the burn brainstorm, it's like doubly bad because not only am I not dealing damage, but it doesn't actually mean anything for my compression because
I would just shuffle all the dirty stock cards back with my finisher.
Right.
Yeah, that was a crazy last turn. Definitely a very extended line to recognize that. You were not in a good position to survive next turn, and you just had to go for it, even if the odds weren't super great on your side. Going for the out there and getting that W here. On my end, I think for the most part, I was pretty happy with my play here. There were a couple of junctures in which I had to make some critical decisions, and I think for the most part, I was able to assess the risk-reward situation appropriately. There is one thing that I wasn't quite sure about in hindsight, and that's the act of clocking to 2/6. I didn't really think about the possibility of you going for lethal the turn after, because 1, I didn't think you were going to hit 3, and 2, I thought that even if you hit 3, I wasn't going to die from just Mocha finishers, especially since I was looking at least 1 lane of direct. It turns out that was my downfall, but I don't think I would have done anything different.
I mean, this was just a kind of like a thread the needle thing.
Yeah, the thing is at the beginning of my last turn, I wasn't quite sure if I was going to be able to assemble everything I needed for the following turn, because I was still short on hand, and I wanted to get myself in the position where I could go for my level 3. Because like I was going to hit level 3 for sure next turn, right? A 2/5, especially if I clock to 2/6, I can, even if I triple cancel, I can just clock myself. And then I did end up in a situation where I could do triple combo with Hayate and had exactly enough resources. But the cost was that like at 2/6, I died to exact lethal. But like, I mean, like that's kind of hindsight, I think.
Right.
I do think that I might have actually misplayed, or I should have considered this particular scenario as well. In specifically this matchup and some other matchups that have bouncers, I could have considered not paying out the choice, because I later down the line realized that had you bounced my 1/1 Hayate, I couldn't have full comboed anymore. So, because I had exactly 7 stock.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually realized that afterwards, and I was like, man, if he goes for some finisher line and also bounces my 1/1, then I might be in trouble. Or if he goes for like I'm going to heal down and bounces my Hayate, I might not be able to kill him next turn.
Yeah, on a run bouncer.
Yeah, so that was just something that I kind of thought of in this matchup in particular. I don't have your exact 50 memorized, so that was just something that came to mind. But at the same time, it's really hard to deny just like refreshing 720, like paying that Climax out while still having exactly enough stock and forcing your hand on perhaps bouncing. I probably would still do that. So those were the only things that came to mind for me. And in general, I think the early game, I probably played that to the best of my abilities given my current understanding of how the deck works. I do think one of the strongest points of the deck, and one that got showcased really well here, is the power of being able to reset your deck even at level 0.
Yeah.
We had a very prolonged level 0 game here. Both you and I canceled very well. And I was able to capitalize that, not the same way you capitalized on it, in which you could just build a bunch of stock, but I could just reset my deck and not having to worry about if you slam the 1k1 next turn, I could potentially just get hit straight to level 2, because I also don't really have that much mill power, right?
Right.
It gave me a bit more time or a bit more insurance to get my setup going. And once that happened, I basically just refreshed every turn, right? So I essentially didn't take a refresh penalty this game almost ever, which was really nice. Let's wrap things up then.
I mean, as far as like this deck goes, because
we
I don't really talk too much about this deck, but I think that like this kind of position where like you just like are able to, because I think the thing is that you are able to, throughout the first few turns of the game, you are literally, if you don't trigger climaxes, you are able to just never pay stock ever, because you can just go from this to this to this, and then like maybe you pay stock for like that or something, right? And then you are just able to consistently hold bodies, mill through the deck if needed, and then have this as a flex option, which I think like mainly this would be like if you go to early one and you aren't like set up to play like multiple of this, but if you have the climax for this, then this is just
I think it's just a really good bridge. As long as you have like multiple climaxes, having that 2 or less early precondition is really nice. And just having basically all of your climaxes are also just treated as level 1 combos, which I think is a very nice boon there.
It kind of, in that respect, it like kind of feels like when like an SDS player is playing like multiple stock souls, like they play like the 2/1 Gil Thunder or something in addition. It's just like, wow, I drew a stock soul. Anyways, or like Shakugan no Shana, when you play like Shana with like the 0 combo and the 1 combo before the Dengeki stuff came in. It just kind of feels a lot like that, and the ability to not like recklessly, but like being able to like tactically go between the two is it gives you very easy lines on like what you will be doing moving forward, and you don't have a lot of fuss with like, oh, I need to brainstorm to get this, or I need to drop salvage / drop search to get this, and you just kind of chill on what you have, which is usually going to be this.
I think your particular deck here is probably what I would recommend for a Macross fan that is newer to Weiss Schwarz. This is a deck that has a very solid game plan, a very fundamental pay out your dirty stock, otherwise just salvage things when salvage cards for your next turn, don't mill your deck if needed, but you also have the option to mill. But also with a lot more agency, since like we've been mentioning, all of your 8 climaxes can potentially be early game advantage combos, which will offset a lot of the inherent luck that might come in the first deck rotation on if you draw the right climax or not. So if you guys are liking Macross and are coming to Weiss for the first time, unfortunately Macross doesn't have a trial deck, but I think if you do have all the cards available, that build right there will serve you very, very well. It's not even worse than like the Link build. Link is just like its own different beast with its own pros and cons, but that build right there is basically as consistent and as solid a deck that you can get in Macross Frontier, I believe.
It just plays the very simple and effective game.
Anything else you wanted to mention about anything in terms of your particular deck construction, or anything about this match in particular before we pull things back to the general overview again?
No, I think that's pretty much. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
So yeah, let's wrap things up. For the Macross Delta block, we only do have 2 games since this is a premium booster. There's not as much content to work with, but I do think that between these 2 games that you guys have seen on the channel, we have showcased the majority of what this set has to offer in terms of some deck variety, climax combos. I do think most people that are looking to Macross, especially if they're not interested in the franchise themselves, I think the deck is one of the most unique decks out there. No one can really deny that. Being able to efficiently use multiple different climaxes, having the flexibility to have different climax combos, this is something very rare. Like Spy Family, you need to play like a 3-5 event to get all the family members climaxing on the same thing. Whereas here, once you get 2 events in memory, you can just do whatever you want. This deck does require a lot of practice. Compared to what Randall is playing, where you are able to learn the fundamentals of Weiss with that deck very well, and you have very strong cards, just very solid profiles to work with. This deck, if you misstep 1 turn, you lose. I think that's not quite an exaggeration. If you don't have a clear goal for what your objectives are, and you also don't plan ahead into your future 1, maybe even 2 turns, when you're sculpting things with your Mikumo combo and things like that, then you're going to find yourself very underwhelmed by the performance of this deck. But at the same time, I think it is potentially a deck that can reward you for a lot of good practice on the deck, knowing your lines, knowing your matchups, and yeah, definitely recommend checking this deck out if you guys have the cards, putting it together, maybe taking your own brew on it. We featured both the level 3 Hayate and Freyja combo alongside the level 3 Freyja by herself combo. And while we didn't get to feature the actual Climax combo in action, just imagine how good it would have been to shuffle all those dirty cards, or all those clean cards from Randall's waiting room back into this deck.
I would rather not.
burn 2, burn 2, burn 2, heal, draw, shuffle more things back. It would have been a good time.
Yeah. It would have been really, really strong.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We're going to wrap up our Macross Delta content block with the end of this video. From the entire Tressa's Collectibles team, myself, Mike, Randall, aka Shizukatz, and we have Simu here alongside. From the Tressa's Collectibles team, have a happy holidays and hope everyone has a good 2015. And
2020?
2015?
2025?
I wish I had a good 2015. Anyways, yeah, have a good next year, whatever year that is, whatever number that is, 2025. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the new year. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.
Bye.